Don't move, Earthborn. I've been hunting you a long time. So much for a quiet life. I'd spent the last 6 rotations hiding on the edge of a forgotten farming outpost on the planet Selner, just a dusty green rock on the rim of the Lisker Drift. My greenhouse tunnels fed me, and the lack of neighbors kept my head clear. After what I'd survived, I wanted nothing to do with the rest of the galaxy. Peace was all I asked for. But peace never lasts when you're living a borrowed identity. It was early, sky still dim and lavender. I was doing routine checks on the defense mesh, patching up a voltage flicker near the east ridge. That's when my sensor bot pinged something strange just past the treeline. Movement. Not tagged as local wildlife. Size matched a humanoid, about 6 feet 3 inches. I spun around. She was already behind me. "Don't move," she said again. Her voice was smooth but steely, like wind cutting through wires. I froze. She stood like a sculpture, tall, alien, impossible to miss. Her skin shimmered with a violet sheen, her hair flickered like cold fire, and her eyes jet black and endless. She hadn't drawn a weapon. Didn't need to. "I've tracked you across 12 systems," she said, stepping closer. "You're Ven Solari, former tech contractor for the United Fringe. Disappeared after the Archon breach." "You've got the wrong guy," I lied badly. Her gaze didn't blink. "You rescued my sister." That stopped me. The breach. I hadn't heard that word in years. A black op gone public, when rogue Droken militants stormed an orbital station above Raleigh's V and slaughtered everyone not wearing a uniform. I was there. Not as a soldier. I was on a maintenance contract, just fixing hull stabilizers for a paycheck and a clean record. When the bombs hit, I found a wounded girl pinned under a crushed conduit. She wasn't human. I didn't think, I just pulled her out and got her on an evac lifeboat. I never caught her name. "How did you find me?" I asked half-whisper. "I followed your ship's decay trail," she said, "but more than that, I share her memory. Through a rite known as the bind tether. She moved with grace through my greenhouse. Her name was Elin," she added softly. "She didn't survive long after. But before she died, she gave me her memory pattern. Her final thoughts were of the human who pulled her from fire." "I didn't do it for thanks," I muttered. "Good," she said, pausing. "Because I didn't come to thank you. I came to keep you alive." Her name was Syra. She wasn't just anyone, she was of the Archon lineage. A bloodline of empathic tacticians, once trusted to mediate interstellar diplomacy. Now mostly scattered or executed after the Droken War. Elin had passed not just her memories to Syra, but emotions, feelings, intentions, attachments. "She gave me her loyalty to you," Syra said. "More. You're not entirely human anymore." "What do you mean?" "You were exposed to an Archon echo field. It latches onto the psyche, changes your mental imprint. You're carrying a part of her whether you know it or not." "That's impossible." "It's real," she said, laying her palm over a panel that opened without her even speaking. "And dangerous." I felt a chill. Dangerous how? There are those who want to erase all remnants of the Archon field. They call themselves the Pale Order. Purists. Fanatics. If they discover your link to her, they'll come. That night, Syra stayed in the guest chamber, though I doubted she slept. She moved like a shadow, a hunter used to being hunted. I reviewed my drone feed. Then I saw it, a flicker of light across the hills. Someone else was here. "They've found us, haven't they?" I asked the next morning. She nodded. "They call themselves the Blankborn. And they want the bind tether wiped out." "You brought them here," I said flatly. "I came alone," she answered. "But I assumed they'd follow. That's why I brought this." She pulled a blade from her cloak, shimmering liquid-like, humming with strange resonance. "I won't let them take you." I laughed bitterly. I was hiding from tax collectors and bad memories, not death squads. "No one chooses legacy," she said. "It chooses you." They arrived that night. 3 Blankborn assassins dropped from the sky, almost silent. My perimeter drones didn't even get a warning off before they were cut down mid-flight. I grabbed my old charge rifle. Syra didn't wait. She slipped into the shadows, moving faster than my eyes could track. Her blade was alive, cutting arcs of blue light as she parried blaster bolts and cut through armor like it was cloth. She spun, struck, rolled. She was everywhere. I barely managed to graze one of them. Another lunged for me, shouting in digital growls, before Syra slammed him to the ground, blade to throat. "We're not here to kill," she hissed in his language. "Tell your controller, it's done." The assassin activated a failsafe on his belt and disintegrated in a mist of light. Syra stood heaving. One of them was still alive, moaning from a shock blast. She stunned him again. "We have to go." "I'm not running," I said. "I've done enough running." "Then come with me." "Why?" I asked. "Why risk your life for someone you don't even know?" She stepped forward. Her gaze softened. "Because she knew you," she said. "And she loved you." We torched the bodies. Syra called in a cloaked Archon skiff to retrieve the prisoner. I grabbed the few belongings I still cared about, packed them in a battered bag. As we lifted off, I looked back at my shelter. It was nothing but ash and soil now. Quiet, broken, fading. "Does it get easier?" I asked. Syra's voice was barely above a whisper. "Only when the memory becomes your own." We left Selner 9 behind. The stars stretched out in silence. For the first time, I wasn't just escaping. I was transforming into something between worlds. A carrier of memory. A protector of echoes. A living tether. And by my side was someone who had crossed light years not for revenge, but to honor a final promise. Find him. Guard him. He is my resonance. As the ship slipped into the black, the stars outside twisted into streaks of white. I watched them from the viewport, felt the weight of the past peeling off layer by layer. For years, I'd buried everything. The war, the guilt, the things I couldn't fix or forget. I told myself I was hiding. In truth, I was waiting. For what? I didn't know. Until now. Syra sat across from me, tuning her blade. The hum of the ship vibrated softly under our boots. There was no need to speak, but something had changed. The silence between us wasn't hollow anymore. It was charged, alive. She wasn't just a stranger carrying her sister's memories. And I wasn't just a man who happened to save someone once. We were linked now. By legacy. By choice. The galaxy wouldn't wait. The Pale Order would keep hunting, the Blankborn wouldn't back down, and the fragile piece holding the outer systems together was cracking like glass. I didn't ask for this. But running had never made me free. It only postponed the inevitable. I had a name again. Then Solari. I had a purpose again too, not to erase the past, but to carry it forward. Syra believed I was more than a relic of some long-lost moment. Maybe she was right. The universe didn't need another warrior. It needed someone to remember. To protect what mattered. And somehow, through a twist of fate and fire, I'd been chosen to do that. Syra looked up, catching my eye. "We'll start with the Eris outpost," she said. "There's someone there who can help decode the rest of Elan's tether." I nodded. No hesitation. "Then let's go," I said. Outside, the stars pulsed brighter. The past was behind us. The war ahead. And somewhere in between, we would write a new story. One not of destruction, but of survival, truth, and something dangerously close to hope. We weren't just passengers anymore.